ਇਹ ਸਪਿਰਚੁਅਲ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ AMC ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਸਪਾਂਸਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ 6045076666 ਤੇ ਫੋਨ ਕਰੋ। ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਫਿਰ ਆਪ ਸਭ ਦਾ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਧਾਰਮਿਕ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ ਵਿੱਚ। ਮੇਰਾ ਸਾਥ ਦੇਣਗੇ ਭਾਈ ਹਰਿਨਾਮ ਸਿੰਘ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਜਿਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਹੀ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਐਜ਼ ਅ ਗੋਰਾ ਸਿੱਖ, ਅਤੇ ਪਿਛਲੇ 40 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੀ ਸਰਵਿਸ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਥਰੂ ਨਾਮ ਸਿਮਰਨ। ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਇਹ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਪ੍ਰਚਾਰ ਵੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਕੈਂਪਸ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਆਯੋਜਨ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਅੱਜ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਕੁਝ ਡਿਸਕਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਵਾਂਗੇ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਨਕਰੀਜ਼ਿੰਗ ਟਰਬੂਲੈਂਸ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਬਹੁਤ ਤਰੱਕੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਪਰ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਬਾਵਜੂਦ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੰਤੁਸ਼ਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਹਾਂ। ਸਤ ਸੰਤੋਖ ਦੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਖਤਮ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਜਾ ਰਹੀਆਂ। ਥਾਲ ਵਿੱਚ 3 ਵਸਤੂ ਪਈਓ, ਸਤ ਸੰਤੋਖ ਵਿਚਾਰੋ। ਅਸੀਂ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਤਾਂ ਰੋਜ਼ ਹਾਂ, ਪਰ ਕੀ ਅੱਜ ਸਾਡੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਝਲਕ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ? ਕਿਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਨੂੰ, ਵਰਚੂਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਅਪਣਾ ਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਿਹਤਰੀ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ? ਆਓ ਇਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਕੁਝ ਚਰਚਾ ਕਰਨੇ ਭਾਈ ਹਰਨਾਮ ਸਿੰਘ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਨਾਲ। ਜੀ ਅਨੂ ਭਾਈ ਸਾਹਿਬ,
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਜੀ।
We are very proud, especially in Canada, we have achieved the pinnacle of success, whether it be in politics or sports or as businessmen or even in service also. What we not have today is uncomprehendable, you know, everything we have, but despite that, there's a turbulence going on in the society when we read about our youngsters going towards drugs, violence, in our families, domestic violence is increasing, health-wise also we are suffering quite a lot. So what is happening? The message of Guru Granth Sahib, which was given to us of Chardi Kala, we talked about this in one of our episodes, but today I would like to touch it from a different perspective as to what is happening to us and how we can come to that pristine glory, state of glory again, that beingness of which we were proud of. If it is diminishing, why and what needs to be done?
Well, you know, as Guru talks about, we're in this Kali Yuga, darker time, an end of a cycle.
Right.
And we look at over the past 2,000 years, and Guru Granth Sahib Ji talks about those ages, the golden age, the silver, bronze, and this Kali Yuga, the darker time. We're in a time now where the current, in reality, my belief is, the current socio-political system does not work. It's had its run. And we're seeing with all this blur of reality and everything that's going on in world politics, and really what I see is simply insanity in many degrees. It's beyond how some of these events have occurred, and world politics. So that reality and non-reality now, we're not quite sure what's real, what's not real, and then this proliferation, what they're calling fake news and all this kinds of stuff. So it's hitting people very hard, especially our younger adults, because the question becomes, what can I believe in and what can I trust?
Right.
And because there's generally in the society, in the world society, there's that question of what is real, what's not real. Right. What can I trust, what can I not trust? And then when we see things like fear of war and nuclear war, it brings a further erosion of the confidence that we have in our leaders, the confidence we have in our nations, the confidences we have in ourselves.
Right.
So in a nutshell, in my belief, is that there's a false sense now of hope, and there's a sense of hopelessness.
Right.
So whereas we were living the Canadian dream, the young people are saying, does that dream even exist?
Right.
We look here with housing prices, it's phenomenal. We can't believe that it's simple, the pricing of houses in Canada, things like that. So what's our alternative? So that's good doom and gloom. Let's all go get depressed and, you know.
Right.
So what Guru taught us was how to get through it. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj at that time created the Khalsa, created the army of the Khalsa to fight at that time in physical battle. We have a different battle that we have to fight now as Sikhs, as Khalsa, who represent that concept of truth.
Right.
And that's to battle the insecurity, that's to spread a joy, to spread a light. That joy has to be spread by us. Now, because we're so eroded in our sangats and divided, we've lost that sense of what is that unity to carry a message.
Right.
And the message is of peace, tolerance, and acceptance of all people, as Guru Nanak Dev Ji began with. And this, my belief, why, you've known me a long time, I'm always excited. I'm always have energy. I'm always inspired. Tell me another story about the Guru. Okay, how can we go out here? Where do we have to travel?
Right.
Because I never become defeated in my belief that we will achieve peace in this world. I may not see it in my lifetime, maybe my kids, my children's, my kids' children, their children.
Right.
But we have to look to that way. And we have to be instruments today to help bring a way of life, a light, and peace to people.
Right.
that peace, that calmness, that sahaj comes through Gurbani. It comes through, and they say meditative, now they call it mindfulness.
Right.
Right? We've been teaching meditation 40 years now, it's mindfulness.
Yeah.
Whatever the key phrase is. But all the technology to create peace on this world was established by Guru Nanak Dev Ji, embodied by each of our gurus.
Right.
And within Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj is a way of coming to peace.
Right.
We have to find that peace in ourselves. And we have to spread the teaching of that light.
Right.
The media portrays us and some of our past actions that we're fighting, in the Sikh faith, that we're fighting each other. That's all the kirtans raised and we're fighting. But who are we?
Right.
We have to let people know and what our history is, which the history of our gurus and the sacrifices is unparalleled in history.
Absolutely.
But not known yet, but
Right.
someday. So we have to keep those efforts. What keeps us through it, the key thing that Guru talks about that teaches us, which I've embraced, is the concept that there's a way through everything.
Right.
So Guru teaches, don't get hung up, don't get blocked. But we don't take care of ourselves, and we don't trust that to be true.
Right.
I only carry a simple mission of spreading Guru's love, light. And I say, always, you've heard me before, I say, if I can do it, a Gaur Singh from Toronto can do it. What's stopping anybody else? I'm nobody special.
Absolutely, but there's a difference. Despite this gloom and despair which we see everywhere, you have that hope because your trust in the Guru is there, and that is what motivates you to carry on with the mission which you have launched. The issue is, when we talk about our youngsters, the kind of lifestyle which we have adopted today, you touched this aspect. What do you think needs to change in our lifestyle? Because that is also one of a prominent factor which is probably motivating our youngsters to adopt an easy lifestyle of glamour, of fashion and everything. But where do you feel there is something which needs to be worked upon on this aspect of lifestyle?
Well, it's a very big thing. The kids are caught in that maya, that, looking on TV and seeing, that glamour. Others are just getting stuck in just being on the computers all day. We have responsibility as parents, as teachers, as guides for these children to reach them. We're not going to reach them if we put them in front of the TV set as soon as they come home. We're not going to reach them if we don't show them by example how to live.
Right.
We have to be the example. If we're not the example, or we don't have time for them, how many parents take the time to talk to their children every day about real things? How many take the time to understand that they have a spiritual destiny, that these children have to live as well? We're so concerned with, did they get A in science and an A+ in mathematics, but how did they do in their connection to the Guru? How are they doing in Gurmat? How are they doing in, right? We reverse it again, that we want to push them ahead. And maybe that's because kind of the cultural thing is we want our children to get professional where we perhaps weren't that professional in our lives, in my generations. But the reaching of them has to be through hope.
Right.
Because they're going on to drugs, they're going on to alcohol, they're following it, and the rate of depression amongst our young people is increasing. The rate of diabetes is increasing in children, young people under 30 years old, never heard of before. So we're not spreading that message of how to take care. So we lose them, and once these children are lost, it's very hard to get them back.
That's right.
All we can do is live the lifestyle and encourage them and be with them. If they see that we're happy as parents or as guides, they'll be happy. But when we come home, all we're doing is negative, all we're talking about is miserable, all we're talking about is, leave me alone, then what message do we give to them?
Right.
But it's very difficult in so many respects, because I've seen so many people that are depressed. Because this Kali Yuga, this age, because of this blurring, is getting people more and more depressed. And of course, more and more depression, those who have, pharmaceutical companies, oil companies, all that, they're making their billions of dollars on our back.
Right.
And we're addicted to that. We follow into that. So to me, honestly, I don't think this system works anymore. How to change it is going to take an evolution of time.
Right.
Because we can't go in and we're not going to change it tomorrow. And we have to give these children hope to understand that they are children of the future.
Right.
They don't want war. I've not talked to one young person who says, okay, let's go to war.
Right.
They want peace. They want a good life. But the system is not working. And it will break down. It is breaking down. We can see it. It's not working.
Right. So over the years, what is your experience while talking to the youngsters, people? Is that what we are talking? Because many times, religion is, if you talk in social get-togethers in other places, we are social human beings, but when we talk about religion or spirituality in social gatherings, we are considered to be backwards. That's the kind of thinking. In this age of glory and fame, everyone wants to outrace others by other things. The materialistic world is having a heavy impact on us. So what do you think? Is that consciousness increasing towards spirituality in the youngsters?
Definitely.
Okay.
It's absolutely increasing. Everything is in a balance. As one thing falls, something else grows.
Right.
And because we're not just governed by this straight physical, environments, but there's planets, there's stars, there's solar systems. Guru Nanak Dev Ji talked about the many that affect us in our life. We're part of where we have a field of energy. We're connected to all of that, and the changes that are going is to bring this world to peace. So more and more people, and even our young people, they say we don't want religion, but we want spirituality.
Yeah,
I wear my bana wherever I go. Nobody's ever said about it. In fact, young people come, adults, everybody, they revere me. They say, well, what do you do and how do you live it? They want to know those things.
Right.
Guru Gobind Singh Ji gave us the bana so we weren't be afraid and we'd be known. So wherever I go, doesn't matter within our own faith or at other social circles, I'm always approached, I'm always talked to, people want to know, and we represent that consciousness of spirituality.
So what happened to us? Why are we feeling inferior to carry on this tradition which was given to us by our gurus? Separate identity. Today, when we talk, what we are seeing in the society today, it's difficult to, if you go to some social function, it's difficult to find youngsters having the star and having this shape.
Very true.
So we are losing that aspect also. Well, Gurbani is a separate aspect because we are to blame for that we ourselves are not practicing that. What can we tell to our children? But what about this? How to revive this sense of, pride in our own identity?
And that's a big step to take. When people get to a point in their lives when nothing else is working, then they find religion.
Right.
Then we'll go to God. Why didn't you go when everything was good? No, I did my today because Guru, please help me.
Right.
I said, go when things are good. Then why
Right.
you don't have to go when they're bad? There's we work very hard to survive. It's not a bad thing and a good thing, and I'm better than somebody who's not. We don't look that way. I have compassion with it because I know that it's hard for families to survive. It's hard to earn the income you need to just keep yourself on top. And we get so much caught in that struggle, and then we have the children, we're raising the children, and it becomes a burden, it becomes a pressure. So it doesn't become a priority in our lives
Right.
to bring that spiritual aspect into it. So that, and the understanding, as I said before, another time where we start with that, then everything filters down. We start with our devotion. But because we don't have time for our devotion, we have time for everything else oftentimes, but not for that devotion. It was like that girl I was teaching in Calgary and to some of the young people, and we were talking about Panjbani, about reading Pat. And I said, how many read Japji Sahib? And one girl says, well, Bhai Sahib, I'd like to read Japji Sahib, but I don't have time.
Right.
So I said to her, well, do you have time to go to the mall and shop with your friends? She says, oh, yeah. You have time to go to the coffee shop and have a tea? She says, sure. You have time to text us? Yeah, of course I do. You have time to talk on your phone all day? She said, yes, I do. I said, but you don't have time to reach up? She said, no, Bhai Sahib, I don't. Right?
Because it's not on the priority list.
It's not on the priority list. It's everything else ahead of it. And it's the same with us. And I'm compassionate to it because I know, we have to make a living. I've got to argue. We have to get out there and do things. But what I learned was that unless I have that connection to God and Guru, then all that other stuff becomes meaningless. Then I'm just chasing a tail that I'm never going to get.
Right.
And because, as we're saying in society, as soon as you feel a little depressed or you're given a chemical, you're given a pharmaceutical. We look for the quick fix, that tablet, right? We look for a quick fix. So the society now is based on a quick fix. You watch any television show, what do they do to relax?
Oh, yeah.
They're in the bar having a drink.
Right.
Let's go and have, who's pouring the wine? Let's relax now. Well, so that whole message is distorted. We learn that we relax through devotion, through breathing, through Simran, right? Through getting the circulation in our body.
Right.
But everything is being taught out there, get the quick fix. And the children see the quick fix. So they're already being trained by all of that. We have to show the alternative to that.
Right.
We have to show them how, you know, and your question about are we sinking in it? I don't believe we are. I think there's more and more young people and our adults in the population of the world who want to bring in spirituality and are not happy with the way the world is
Right.
and want to make changes. And that's growing.
But the change has to begin with us, as you mentioned, that
Yes.
nothing else will change unless we change our own perspective
Yes.
and we start working on that.
You have to have peace within yourself.
Right.
You know, and learn that. And that's where my practice, when I'm up in 3:30 in the morning and we do our meditation and our exercise and Paat and Simran,
Right.
it relaxes me for the day. So people say, oh, you're so relaxed. I said,
Right.
you should have seen me at 4 this morning. I wasn't so relaxed.
Right.
But, you know, because the concept that if you give 10% of your day to your devotion,
Right.
2.4 hours, then the rest of the 90% you're taken care of. Why do
Right.
I have to struggle? That's how I look at it.
Absolutely.
Guru says, get out of my way. I'm looking after the rest of your day.
You just devote yourself to me for this particular period.
Yeah, everyone in our song says, Baisabi, we're going to be late, we'll be late. I said, we'll be there when we need to be here. And we're always early.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure talking to you,
Thank
sir.
you,
Thank
Ji.
you very much,
Always
friend.
my
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ
Khalsa,
ਖਾਲਸਾ
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਵਿਸ਼ਾ ਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਭਾਈ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਂਝ ਪਾਈ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹੀ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਉਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਅਡਾਪਟ ਕਰਕੇ ਰੱਖੀ ਹੋਈ ਆਪਣੇ ਕੋਲ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ। ਉਸ ਦਾ ਕੀ ਕਾਰਨ ਹੈ? ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਡਿਵੋਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ, ਅਸੀਂ ਸਮਰਪਿਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ, ਗੁਰੂ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਰੈਂਡਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ। ਸਾਡਾ ਸਿਰਫ ਫਰਜ਼ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਰੈਂਡਰ ਕਰੀਏ, ਬਾਕੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਆਪ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਵੇਖੇਗਾ, ਪਰ ਉਹ ਟਰਸਟ ਲਿਆਉਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ। ਭਾਈ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦਾ ਇਹ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਪਿਛਲੇ 40 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਇਸ ਸਫ਼ਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੁੜੇ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ, ਪਰ ਯਕੀਨ ਹੈ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ, ਹੋਪ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਕੁਝ ਨਾ ਕੁਝ ਚੇਂਜ ਹੋਏਗਾ, ਪਰ ਉਸ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਪਰਿਵਰਤਨ ਲਿਆਉਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਤੋਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂਆਤ ਕਰਨਾ ਪਏਗਾ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਇੱਕ ਕੈਂਪ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਆਯੋਜਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ 25 ਅਗਸਤ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ 27 ਅਗਸਤ ਤੱਕ ਮਿਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ sikhsangat.com ਤੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੋਰ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲੈ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੇ ਰਜਿਸਟਰ ਵੀ ਕਰਵਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਇਹ ਸਪਿਰਿਚੁਅਲ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ AMC ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਸਪਾਂਸਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ। 6045076666 ਤੇ ਫੋਨ ਕਰੋ।